I am a 25 male and my fiance, 24 female best friend sent me proof of her cheating at her bachelorette party. March 2nd, 2023. First of all, sorry for mistakes. I'm writing in a stage between exhaustion and being completely drunk. So yeah, pretty common story. Met her 5 years ago at uni, fell deeply in love and thought she was the love of my life. 5 years of relationship, she decided to fucking crush a male. I wanna break my skull right now. We were not a perfect couple, but damn, we were close. Her family liked me, and while I don't really have one, I felt so welcomed in theirs. We had projects. The first one was me buying this big now garbage of a house near the sea, building a family on our own. On my own. I proposed to her earlier this year and I couldn't think of a better night than this one. Why the frick she had to throw everything away like that? Yesterday morning, I woke up with big headache from my little party with the boys, and what a surprise when I saw that my fiance's best friend sent me not one but 5 fucking videos. How naive I was, thinking, oh cool, they had fun. Must be some fun or embarrassing moments, lol. To summarize the 5 videos, her kissing at least 3 others guys, making out really passionately with one, really passionately, licking champagne on his body, and finally her being lifted up into a room and a lot of noises from behind the door. My friends are still with me, as dumbfounded as I am. I guess she slept most of yesterday because I had the first text last night and a shit ton of them plus calls since this morning. I only asked her yesterday to tell me the truth and she played like nothing happened. I just can't, I swear to God, it's crushing my mind. She just begging on text for me to pick up, saying it's not what I think. How cliche, right? Even her best friend is trying and told me we need to talk. I picked up just once, told her I know for the guy, and bam, blank silence. Then sobbing and crying, telling me to meet to talk and explain because it's not what it looked like before I hung up and turned off my phone. Even asking me who was the bitch that sent me the vids. Guys, I really thought I could have my own family. It was hard growing in foster. I guess I only have my bros and my job left. I guess I need some outside advices. Maybe it really wasn't what it looked like, but how to believe that? Edit. Friends typing. The original poster is kind of a mess right now, but all your comment really is cheering him up a little. We'll keep answering until he feels like sleeping. Thanks everyone again. Didn't expect this to blow that fast. Update. March 6, 2023. The wake up was hard, but I want to first thank all the kind messages and advices I got. For the people who insulted my fiancé, please don't do that, even though I understand how you feel. For now I just need to get back home, so I texted her that she had until this afternoon to pack some stuff and leave to her parents' place, and of course not with the car I bought for her. She called me and begged for a chance to explain. So there was crying, guilt trip that I'm not believing her over someone I don't really know, telling me nothing happened in the room and that the kissing was all she did. At this point I was at my breakpoint, but I held tears and asked to tell me all the truth or I'd just disappear from her life. So more crying until she confessed that all she did was oral sex. On her and on him. Detailed, but nothing more happened because she stopped. She swore that's all she did, but how can I be sure? I never saw her that panicked over something. She even proposed something like a free pass for me to cheat on her on anyone I'd like. WTF. I can't even describe how sick and disgusted I felt while hearing all this. I hung up because, well, is there more to say? Through all the messages and calls from her friends and family, it was mostly messages telling me to pick up and talk with fiancé. Like a lot of advices, I told a friend of mine to download the vids on his stuff, phone and computer, because I can't stand to have this on mine. I also picked up when her BF called me and basically she explained that another girl invited her brother, who is a stripper, and his friends. That's why I already saw his face somewhere. She then took a solid 20 minutes, telling me she betrayed Fiance because how much she didn't deserve me, how I was too good, handsome, attractive and wealthy for her. I asked her if Fiance ever did something like that before, but she told me no. I asked her if drugs could have been used and she told me no, because she was still going after the cheating. She then offered to come to my place in order to support me, but I kindly declined. I need to be alone right now. Wedding has been cancelled, but I didn't told the reason to the parents yet, and I turned off my phone all week. I took a break from work and my days are and mostly consist of going to bars and gets so drunk I pass out. At least we had a good laughs with the boys, even if I can hardly remember the last parts. Thanks again. Never thought this would blow up that fast. I'm kind of a very introverted person. I meet my current friends, only have 4 but can't thank them enough, through my fiancé. She was the popular type in uni while all I did was studying and playing basketball. She was my first relationship, my first time, my first everything. Throwing up 5 years just like that. She keeps on texting me to meet and talk about this like adult. sending me what she ate like nothing happened, and then trying to talk about our dreams together. That's so fucked up, but fortunately, there is a nice old and expensive bottle of whiskey waiting for me. Edit. Also, for all the people telling me to get with her best friend, it is not my priority right now. Fiance contacted me again and offered me to monitor all her accounts, not drinking or going out without me, etc. I'm not a fucking Jill guard. It will be my last update on this. I won't post anymore and mostly delete this account later. Edit to the story hit TikTok. Thanks for telling me, and my stepfamily saw it through the younger brother. I won't update anymore, but thanks everyone.
I slept with an old flame during a work trip and my husband has no idea. The 22nd of March 2023. I met D in the 6th grade, science class to be exact. We weren't really friends for the first couple of years of knowing each other. We began talking more around the age of 13-14 and immediately clicked. We had a shared interest for a particular hobby. And once we bonded over that, everything else snowballed. We started to develop feelings for each other, but due to my immaturity at the time, I never really agreed to officially date. I will spare the details, but unfortunately we had a very painful falling out. And by the time high school came around, we were no longer speaking. We did eventually reconnect, but that was followed by several instances of going back and forth between being inseparable to no contact. It was always rooted in D's inability to be my friend because he still had romantic feelings for me, and it made things difficult for him. D moved across the country not long after we graduated high school, and any contact we had going forward was always virtual. We finally got to a point where it seemed like it was possible for us to be just friends. I got into a long-term relationship and D was dating other people as well. My long-term relationship turned into a marriage, and I've now been with my husband, M, for a total of 6 years. After a couple of years of being married, feelings for D began to resurface. We would talk and text all the time. There were a lot of flirtatious messages being sent. Several times I found myself wanting to cross the line completely. D and I had never been together sexually, and I found myself longing for that sort of encounter with him more and more. I think we both knew what we were doing was wrong. At that point, it was pretty much a case of emotional cheating, so we went no contact again and stayed that way for quite some time, until recently. I got a new job last year where I've had several opportunities to travel for work. I was recently asked to go to Phoenix for a 2-month assignment. Phoenix is where D lives. I hadn't seen him in 10 years, which feels crazy to put into words. I fought with myself not to reach out, but I couldn't help it in the end. I surprised him by showing up to his job. He owns a small cave with a couple of things I had collected over the years that I always wanted to give to him. Understandably, he was in shock to see me standing there in the flesh. And I can say I practically felt the same way seeing him. I couldn't really get a read on how he felt about seeing me after so long, but I gave him the name of my hotel and told him I'd be in the restaurant at 5 p.m. if he wanted to catch up over dinner. He came and we had such an amazing time chatting, reminiscing, laughing. 2 hours flew by and I didn't want it to end. I asked if he wanted to come hang out in my hotel room for a while. I told myself that it was possible for us to just enjoy each other's company without crossing a boundary, but deep down I wanted to take it a step further. We hung out for a few more hours, drinking and laughing. Eventually we got tired. I laid down to close my eyes for a few seconds and he did the same. We inched closer together until we were basically spooning. And after a few minutes of laying like that, I could feel him getting hard. I was so incredibly turned on, I really couldn't resist. I turned around and kissed him, and I'm sure you can guess what happened next. It was honestly the best of my life. I can't even describe what it felt like having him inside of me for the first time. Everything about it was absolutely perfect. From the pace, to the rhythm, the foreplay, everything. His hands on my body felt like electricity. I never felt like that until I was with D. From then on we saw each other almost daily. We continued to be together and each time felt just as good if not better. Of course, in the back of my mind I felt tremendous guilt, knowing that I was betraying my husband in the worst way possible, but it just felt too good to stop. Even writing this out now makes me feel a certain way. I got home from my work trip 3 weeks ago and my husband doesn't have a clue as to what went on in Phoenix. I know I should end things with him, but I'm scared to actually do it. I've built a life with him here and I know I'm an absolutely shitty, disgusting person for what I've done. I've already been asked to return to Phoenix for another 2-month assignment beginning in September. I've tried to reason with myself, but in the end I just know I'm not going to be able to resist seeing D again. My boyfriend, male 26, doesn't believe in marriage because it incentivizes me, female 25, to divorce him and take all of his money. I have been with my boyfriend for 5 years, and I have been beyond happy with our relationship. He truly is the love of my life, and I have never been this in love with anyone before. For the past 2 years I have been waiting for him to propose to me. When we would go on beautiful vacations, I would get my hopes up extremely high, and I would end up being so utterly disappointed when he wouldn't propose that I would be holding back tears for days after. I couldn't handle this emotional roller coaster pattern anymore, and I finally asked him when he was going to propose to me. It felt like my heart was going to stop from shock when he responded by simply saying, "Never." After a long and heart-wrenching conversation, he explained that he never planned to propose to me because he doesn't believe in marriage, and that the United States government incentives women to divorce their husbands and take all of their money. I honestly don't know what to do from here, and I am completely heartbroken. Any advice?